Most African politicians, I'm very reluctant to use the word leaders when I make reference to most African politicians. They occupy positions of leadership, but they are not leaders, most of them. First of all, the intention with which they enter into leadership is the problem. They seek office because they love power and privilege and opportunity that it provides to them. They want to become wealthy. And the easiest and shortest avenue to wealth in Africa today is public office. With the minimum effort, you become a multi-millionaire. They go there in order to be worshipped. And they go there not to do the right thing. And once they have been in office, they do so many wrong things that it becomes dangerous for them to leave office. So their continued occupation of office is also to ensure that they enjoy immunity that comes with office. But when you are a good leader who does the right thing, you do not fear to leave office because nothing has changed. And I've seen leaders of that ilk in this part of the continent. And there are quite a number of sprinkling of leaders who have left office and are doing great things. Joachim Chissano in Mozambique. Ifikepunye Pohamba in Botswana. People like my good friend Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, Ali Hassan Mwinyi in Tanzania, Benjamin William Mkapa, Joachim Chissano, as I've said, of Mozambique. These are people who have left office and nothing is happening to them because they are men and women of integrity. John Mahama of Ghana. There are quite a number of them now across the continent who do not fear being out of office, and they are doing great things once they leave office. But there are others who will never leave office, because the day they leave office holding all factors constant, they ought to be arrested, because they are thieves and murderers. These are the highest crimes known to man. How can they leave office? And we know them.
If you look at the intellectual inclination of the two leaders of Uganda and Rwanda, they are ideologically of the same persuasion. Their thinking is that they are people who are indispensable, and they have no shortage of people who also tells them that you are Moses holding rod and staff in your hand, parting Red Seas. We want you to continue parting Red Seas. When you talk to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni or you talk to Paul Kagame and you tell them, let us have term limits, he says, but that is Western democracy. My people still think that I should serve them. Who are you? No matter how good a dancer you are, you must know when to leave the stage. Nyerere put it so very well in 1985. He said, you are not successful until your successor succeeds.
I always follow up the statements and the speeches of PLO Lumumba, professor from Kenya, because he's doing great things. He's doing something great which many of Africans can't do it, because we have to speak about this. We have to speak about these issues, because when we keep quiet, then we just sit down, watch over everything that's happening, which is very bullshit, then there's nothing that's going to change. We can't change the narrative by sitting down and watch over. Thank you very much for joining my conversation here. I am the joinsTraore, your presenter here. We have to speak about this issue, so stay tuned and be blessed wherever you came from. When today you go in Uganda and ask Yoweri Museveni Kaguta, the leader or the president of that country, that when is he planning to retire from politics and maybe hand over some people so that they can govern the country, then he will tell you that the constitution requires or allows any person who is in power to vie as many times as he wants. And he will also tell you that the people of Uganda are not ready to let him go, because they still need him. And he will still tell you that he still need more time to achieve all agendas that he had before he came to power. And this looks so funny. And the same when you go to Rwanda and ask Paul Kagame about the same issues, then he will also tell you or reply to you the same as what Yoweri Museveni of Uganda will tell you. So these two people, then something has to be done. I think it's high time something has to be done against these two people, because they're just looking like now where they are, it only belongs to them. I support PLO Lumumba for what he has said, because as he has said, that no matter how the sweet music is, no matter how the artist performs, but he must know that there is a limit to stay on the stage. No matter how sweet you are, it comes a time then the people came to be tired of you. They came to be bored of you. No matter how good you are, you have to give the chance and opportunity to some people. Because just like what has happened in Ivory Coast, the president of Ivory Coast, he came to power because in this country, just like many of African countries, they operate in electoral board or system. Each and every country has the presidential limit. You have to run for 2 terms, either 4 or 5 years, for 2 terms. Then you have to give out the chance and hand over some people to contest for the rest of presidential bid. But things are happening. Things are happening differently in some African countries, because I remember when you take a look on in someone like Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of Uganda, this guy has been in power more than 30 years. When you go to some African leaders, many African leaders, I think like Uganda, like Kenya, I think in Kenya, like 4 presidents has been in power when Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of Uganda is just in power until this time. So that's why he has said, PLO Lumumba, that no matter how sweet your music is, but the people will come to get tired of you. So it comes a time you have to give out the chance to some people so that they can contest that a position too. Because when you go to these 2 leaders, they will tell you the same stories. They need more time. Their democracy allows them to vie more times. Their people still loves you. So who do they think they are? Because if they say that their people loves them so much, so it means that no any other person in this country can be loved like them. No any other person in this country can govern well just like they're doing. No any other African people from these countries, from their countries, can come and hold that position. So this is something that I can say it's bullshit, because we have the rules of law and we have democracy, which is guiding African countries. So in the other video I did, I was speaking positively towards Paul Kagame, because he was speaking something good, which guides African leaders for what they are doing. What they are doing is not good, because it comes a time you have to agree that you are mature enough to do all that you have to do. It comes a time you have your own decisions. You make your own policies. But African leaders are not ready to do that, because they are still believing that they have to be instructed what to do. That is what they have been doing all that long. So, but when we come to this, I'm not supporting Paul Kagame, because he has been the leader of this country for a very long time. We have many people who are contesting for this position. Why can't he just give them just opportunities? At least they rule up their countries. They govern up their countries. People just want to see another new face. It brings up another flavor to governance. But if you can't be, even if you are good enough, you're very good, but it comes a time people want to see another face, another person apart from you. So I remember once a time I came across of the clip of the leader of Botswana, when he was saying that when you find any leader who is not ready to serve more, who is ready to serve more than 2 years, more than 2 terms, then he has a problem. That's not a leader, but a dictator. Because when you find a rule, when you come to the position and find that there is a law that is guiding this on how things are running, then you have to adhere to that law. But you don't have to come to that position and then you decide to change the constitution or the rules that was guiding this on how things should run. So this is what is happening. You know, I always say that when we as Africans, the Africans today are hyping the military leaders. Why are they doing this? Why are people hyping so much about towards Ibrahim Traore and Simi Goeta and other leaders who are in military uniforms? Because we've been used to know that democracy is the only way to govern the countries. But now the people that we have been believing in, they come through democracy. They have been coming through democracy, but what they have been doing to Africans, it's nothing. That's why some people has come to agree that it's better they stay outside democracy, but they get what they deserve. Because these military leaders are offering the best leadership compared to those leaders who are being so-called democratic leaders. So these are the people, the same people who have come to make African believe that democracy is an illusion. Democracy is a story, but it's not nothing to believe in. It's not something that can change anything in African countries. So these African leaders, just like what has happened in Sierra Leone, in Ivory Coast, this guy came to power and changed the constitution. Because in that country, the election, the leaders the head of states were only allowed to run for 2 terms. But he came in power and changed the constitution that the leader can run as many times as he wants, and that's why he decided that he want to contest for the 3rd term.
You know, President Kagame must be understood at different levels. Level number one, that he himself was a refugee after the first genocide in 1959. And his family was in Uganda for a very long time, suffering discrimination and alienation. And when he was in that space, that he himself participated jointly with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in liberating Uganda when he was a part of the NRA-NRM. And we also must remember that it is him and his comrades who are in the forefront to stop the genocide in 1994, when we now know anything between 800 and 1 million people were massacred in a manner that was completely unprecedented in the continent of Africa.
And now the citizens of this country, they say that they can't allow this to happen. And then too, in this country that I was speaking again about, the citizens of this country, what are they doing? Why can't they follow the footsteps of the fellow Africans, or how they are dealing with the issues in their countries? Why can't they decide to stand up and say that we don't want this, and we are not ready to associate or to cooperate with this, we cannot support this? And when you come out and speak out your voice, you raise out your voice, then you have the authority to change and to make the situation as how you want. But when you just stay down, keep on watching everything that's happening, you're not okay with it, but you have nothing to do with it, then you will not solve your problems anytime, any day. You will not be able to solve any problem that concerns that is affecting you. So I agree and support all PLO Lumumba has said about these issues and African leaders. And just he has said that he has spoken with these 2 leaders severally. He has tried to speak with Yoweri Museveni of Uganda, that at least he has to step down, retire, and try to give out opportunities to young African Ugandans who can govern this country well. He is not doing bad in that country, but he need to change the narrative. They need to change so that there are some things they can be done which has never been done in these countries.
If you look at the intellectual inclination of the 2 leaders of Uganda and Rwanda, they are ideologically of the same persuasion. Their thinking is that they are people who are indispensable, and they have no shortage of people who also tells them that you are Moses holding rod and staff in your hand, parting Red Seas. We want you to continue parting Red Seas. When you talk to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni or you talk to Paul Kagame and you tell them, let us have term limits, he says, but that is Western democracy. My people still think that I should serve them. Who are you? No matter how good a dancer you are, you must know when to leave the stage.
So we have a lot to do. We as Africans, it has come to the point, or it has come time now. We as Africans, we have to speak out. We have to come out and correct all the messages that has been made by African leaders, by the greedy African leaders who are not ready to see the progress of African continent, who are not ready to see African continent growing, developing and changing from where it has been for many years. Because when we keep on watching over everything that's happening, then we will always remain slaves. Because the leaders who are staying on the power, who are staying in power for that long, all of them, they're the puppets because they're serving their masters, their former colonizers. So when they serve their colonizers, their masters, then they can't serve the two masters. They can't serve their former colonizers and at the same time serve Africans. So the Africans, we are the one who are being affected with their governance and with their decisions. It has come time, then we have to speak out our voices. I will not take much of a time concerning this. Just tell me what you have in the comment section. What do you think about these issues? What do you think we have to do? Because the situation is worsening each and every day. And we can't just sit down, watch over all that's happening when we know that we are being affected daily by day. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Let's see me in the comment section and know what's really happening. What do you think about this? Then until we meet next time and do the same, stay tuned, be blessed wherever you're watching from. I love you and I appreciate your support.